Hey everybody, welcome back to Big Leg Hot Rods. Boy, I tell you, the last video on this little car gained a lot of subscribers, and I really appreciate it. Channel grew a good little jump, found a good little algorithm, I guess, and fell into, and I had a lot of comments and a lot of thumbs up, a lot of views, and a good bit of subscribers joined in. So I just want to say thank you. Thanks for everybody who's been following, and thanks for the new followers. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you'll be entertained as much as I am when I get into these projects. Having a good time. Get out there and work on your car, work on your project, car, truck, whatever it may be, and just get something done to it. So thanks guys. Now let's get to the video. But this is the Pro-Street Vega that we're building. We're well underway construction-wise. We've gotten a lot of work done. Both quarter panels on passenger side and driver side have been stretched. And as you can see, I've got some fill in there, and it's been probably one more skim, and we'll do a final on that and prime it. Had a little dent in the door, pulled that out. The rocker was screwballed up where someone used a forklift to pick the car up, fixed that. I actually used my spot gun and pulled the dent out. Also whacked the floor where the forklift it looks like it fell off and puckered the floor a little bit, so I was able to hit a dead blow on that, and it came right out. So body work is really looking good. The customer is really happy with it, and that's really all that matters. So we did a quick little internet search and found some new brackets for the rear end here. I got to cut them here so that I can click them around the housing, because the housing has its ends on it. So these will get cleaned up, and we'll get them back in place. Now, the good thing about that is, though, I do have a placement for the inner bracket, so I can keep that location reference, and I'll just widen this out here, and it'll be good to go. Because the center of this is already in good shape as far as matching the inner part of the rails there, where those brackets land. So these brackets landed great. We'll get this cleaned up, get it up on the table, and we'll slide these on. I will have to do a little bit more cutting, more than just splitting them, because there's backbone here. So we'll have to notch out the back side of that bracket a little bit, but we gotta get this crap off of here. So we'll get it up on the table and get to work to it. All right, we got the top bracket welded in place, cut to fit. Like I said, I had to cut it in half to get around the end cap, and we notched it to get around the back plate here. Put a couple of little shims in there. Between that bushing, so I have a little bit of room for paint and stuff like that later. It's tacked and looks good, nice and square and straight. And we'll modify the bottom one and get it going. All right, we got the driver's side bracket, upper bracket cut in place. I'm gonna go ahead and tack it, and then I'll start trimming the bottom one. We got a 4-pack, just in case I wasn't able to reuse these inner brackets, but saved me a lot of time, and there's no reason to cut them off. They're fine. They're not bent, anything like that. So we'll just have some extra brackets, no worries. We'll slide this dude in place, trim it up. I'll get that tacked on there, and we'll probably be able to get this rear end in there, because I went ahead and welded the rear frame sections in place and fully welded them. Had to scoot them in 1/8 of an inch on each side to make up the difference on this rear end, but no big deal. Got a little more tire clearance out of that deal. So we'll go ahead and get them bolted to that bracket and see if this rear end will float up and down. All right, we got all the brackets welded back in place. They are just tacked, but I wanted to get and make sure everything's clean. I'm probably gonna end up cutting this bar off, and these brackets here, I think they were for like a wheelie bar, and we're gonna cut these off here as well, just to clean the rear end up. There's just a lot going on. It's not necessary to have all that crap on there. This car is not at that power level. It's a street car, and just clean it up, get some weight off of it, and make it look better. It's gonna get powder coated in the end, body color, so a lot of the suspension and stuff will match, and we'll get all these welds tidied up and just cleaned up and get ready for paint. So got a little cutting to do up in here, and we'll keep moving forward with it. But so far, everything is falling right into place. I'll crawl up underneath here. See if we can get this thing in place. Sort of. Let me get these bars close to the same at the top and bottom. I don't know. It's not going to matter, but at least the rear end will be square. Pinion angle won't be set. That's 17. Man, I couldn't have done that if I tried. Flip that one time and that's the same. And that is 18 3/4. And, oh shit. Same. So lucky me, I guess. I don't know. Boom. Let's slide this back. Definitely way too far back. All right, so we got the rear end kind of loosely mocked up in place. Got the jack holding it up. It's pretty dang centered, I'd say. Obviously, there's more adjustment that can be made there, and we can bring the top in, get that pinion angle more correct. But that's within the ballpark of putting that upper bar in for the shocks. So that is my next goal. I'll do some measuring to make sure that thing's pretty square in there, and I'll get the upper bar cut at least intact, and then we can mess around with that. But pretty happy with that so far. I'm gonna just leave it loosely mocked up and not fully welded, because I still got to build the back plate to tie those plates together and get some stuff cut off of that rear end. Probably won't have time to do that today, but we'll get that thing cleaned up and looking good. But pretty happy with that so far. There's a view from the back seat with link bars in there. That looks pretty damn good. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and assemble the shocks, and that way I can kind of get them in place loosely. I'm not gonna weld anything permanent. I'm just gonna kind of get them in place and look at them and see what adjustments I need. The rear end's in pretty good spot where I like it. And we got the springs and the strut here, or the coilovers. So we can get these in here. Cover them with tape at least, and that way they won't get damaged. But pretty straightforward. You got your locking collar and you got your upper collar here that the spring pocket sits in. These don't have a thrust bearing or anything like that on them. So it is what it is. Oh, there's a little spring in there. That's just fantastic. Here it is. All right. Be careful with that. There's a spring that holds up against that ball bearing. And it's probably in the instructions somewhere, but they're in a box over there. I didn't read them. Go figure. And the only thing I know for a fact is before you put a load on these, you want to make sure you've got some anti-seize on here. If not, it will destroy this aluminum really quick with any kind of a heavy load. Now you can assemble them, you just can't adjust them under load from the spring, as far as I know. These are double adjustable Vega shock, and this came with the kit that he bought, so I'm assuming they're partners in crime and they work together well. So Chris Austin and Vega Shop. I have no idea if he owns the company or they own Chris Austin's. I don't know. And these are Viking springs. So it's funny, I got Viking coilovers on my other car and iBox springs. So I don't know the difference. Put that way down there. Watch your hand, it'll pinch it. Cool. So obviously it comes with brackets and hardware. Just based on the width of that bracket, I'm gonna go with the wide version. Hopefully it's right. Pretty easy to assemble a coilover. Like I said, make sure you grease them before you start jamming down on this locking ring. Probably avoid the warranty. Let's go to the car, see what we got. The backbone has a problem with that backbone and these brackets. It sends to want to put the shock out, and you can't do that because that's tire clearance. It's got to go inside. So I may have to just make a bracket. And my bar there's got to go back, because you want these shocks dang near straight up and down to get the most out of your spring rate. You can lean them, but ideally you want them pretty well straight up and down, I think. Yeah, that'll clear. I'm gonna have to kick that bar back a little bit, and that way we won't have to get into that backbone and brace. But yeah, have to do some finagling with that. I'm sure that'll be just fine. Streetability. I'm gonna set it up as high as I can. Here, hold on a minute. Let me mess around with brackets. We'll try to figure this out. It's going to be really close to the backbone. Lean it back a little bit. I've got room to get the bolt and nut in here with the little tab, so I can move this bar down here. All right, so I got the shock and spring assembly done, and you can tell when I swing it up into place, it gets really close to that backbone. But I'm also thinking the pinion angle needs to be adjusted, so that would pull that rear end forward. And I can still tab off of this frame up here. I could tab off of that and move that bar down up above this point to where this strut shock is pushing up on that, and then have the other tab off the back side. So that will still work. But ideally, it's not, I don't know if it's should be that up to that rear end like that. I gotta make sure this rear end is up as high as it needs to go. So now I've got the rear end up a little higher, and if this bracket here is tightened up, it's gonna pull it into the frame. So I'm not too keen on that. I may have to lean them in a little bit, but this backbone on this rear end is killing me. It's right in the way of this spring, and it's tight. Got some thinking to do, but luckily we're still in mock-up, so a lot of this can change and move around. So I got this piece of flat steel from a gusset, and I just hammered it over the vise there and formed it a little bit. I'm gonna weld in the first parts, and then I'll just hammer that over and weld it, and it'll be good as gold. So we'll get this other one here caught up. Look at that. It don't get much better than that. Well, we got some spacers added to the bracketry here. That'll keep this from collapsing and smashing, and just keep it where it needs to be. Proper arrangement for the shop. Still got a little bit of grinding left to do on this dude. My welds aren't perfect, but I'm gonna clean it up, get it nice and pretty, and ready for powder coat. So we're pretty well done with that, other than, like I said, grinding. We got the bar in place here for the shock mount, and again, that's just tacked in there so we can still utilize the adjustment we need for the ride height. The springs and shocks are maxed out, and I feel like it could be a little lower just from eyeball. But once we get the rear end parts and put together, assembled, we'll get it down on the ground, and we'll determine where we need to go with it. It could need some adjustment. These could swing up on the bar, so the bar could stay where it's at, and these tabs could swing up, give a little more room. Of course, that will pull the shock body back a little bit, so you want to avoid that as much as you can, just so you can utilize all of the spring rate. But all in all, we're in the home stretch of this install, and I'm pretty stoked with it. All in all, it was really good parts to work with. Real good kit, pretty easy to use, easy, for me, I guess I felt like it was pretty easy to put in. So we're getting there. We got a long way to go. So we took a little break and went to a local car show and had a really good time. It was really close to the house, so I decided I'd go and do that. Ended up being a 69 Camaro there built by the Dutch boys. And let me tell you, that car, it was immaculate. It's black with a red interior. Talked to the owner, super nice guy, told us all about it. And they have several other cars. Maybe one day I'll meet up with him. We can talk to him about his other cars, but just unbelievable to see a car of that caliber in a small town like we're in now. In here, it was a beautiful car. It really was. You just realize how high the bar is as far as custom cars go. It's unbelievable. Not taking away from any of the other cars that were there at the show. A bunch of beautiful cars, and I'll include them in this video. Just took some pictures, and we'll include them in a slideshow. But it was a really cool car. I just got to say that. Like I said, it was a Dutch Boys 69 Camaro. I think he said it was built in 22, somewhere around in there. So give you an idea, you can go to their Instagram and check it out. But like I said, really cool car. So we've got a Dutch Boys car, and we've got Big Oak Garage Cadillac. It's around here too. So like I said, we'll include some pictures in that. Got a lot of hype from the last video on a lot of growth in the channel, and I really do appreciate that. So we're going to keep diving into it. We got a lot more planned on it. The owner does. So we got a lot more work to do, and we'll get it. Appreciate you guys watching Big Lake Hot Rods. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.